A shiver ran down my spine as the train whistled through the dark, desolate night. There's something about the rhythmic clatter of steel on steel that seems to amplify the silence, rather than break it. The dimmed lights inside created an eerie glow, casting long, dancing shadows that played tricks on my eyes. Each compartment, a silent testament to the late hour, seemed to hold its breath as we hurtled through the inky abyss. The unsettling atmosphere was palpable, like a dense fog that clung to the cold metal and glass. It was a solitude that wasn't truly solitary, a silence that wasn't completely silent. A sense of foreboding began to creep in, a feeling as if the shadows were closing in on me, wrapping their cold, dark tendrils around my senses. The train, once a symbol of progress and connection, now felt like a steel coffin racing towards an unknown destination. I could feel it. Something else was on this train with me, lurking in the shadows. The chilling whispers of the wind outside echoed my growing fear. The train, once a symbol of a thrilling journey, had now become a vessel of the unknown. An unseen passenger seemed to be sharing this ride with me. The first signs were subtle, almost imperceptible. The clatter of the tracks beneath us was occasionally punctuated by a strange sound, an eerie discord that didn't belong. It was a soft scratching, like the desperate scrawling of a pen on paper, or perhaps the scrape of a claw on metal. It was there, and then it was gone, as fleeting as a shadow in the moonlight. And speaking of shadows, I began to notice them too. They danced and flickered at the corners of my vision, elusive and evasive. I would turn my head to catch a glimpse, but they would vanish, leaving behind only the empty seats and dimmed lights of the carriage. Their fleeting presence, however, was enough to prick at the edges of my sanity, to make me question the fine line between reality and imagination. The sensation of being watched, of an unseen presence, was the most unsettling. It hung heavy in the air, a tangible dread that sent shivers down my spine. It was as if an unseen pair of eyes were boring into me, observing, scrutinizing, judging. I could almost feel the weight of their gaze, chilling and unrelenting. My mind raced with possibilities, each more terrifying than the last. Was I merely a victim of my overactive imagination, or was there really something else on board with me? I tried to reassure myself, to rationalize the strange occurrences. The noises could be the old train protesting its age, the shadows mere tricks of the light, the presence a product of my solitude and anxiety. But the cold, gut-wrenching dread was far too real, and the unseen passenger, whoever or whatever it was, remained an enigma, a specter that loomed over my journey, turning it into a nightmarish ride. There was an icy grip on my heart as the truth slowly dawned on me. The train, the steady rhythm of its wheels on the tracks, the silent passengers, everything was starting to make sense, but in the most terrifying way possible. As I rummaged through my bag, my fingers brushed against a crumpled piece of paper. Pulling it out, I realized it was a newspaper article I had stashed away, intending to read during the journey. The headline was faded, but still legible: "Tragic train wreck along the northern route." The article detailed a horrific accident that had occurred on this very route several years ago. A train, just like this one, had derailed, causing a catastrophic crash. The authorities had done their best, but there were passengers, many passengers, who were never found. As I read through the names of the missing, a chill ran down my spine. I recognized them. The elderly couple arguing over a crossword puzzle, the young woman with the hauntingly beautiful eyes, the man with the faded tattoo on his arm. They were all here, in this carriage with me. My mind raced, my heart pounded. The realization was like a bucket of ice water thrown over me. I was sharing my journey with the lost souls of that train accident. The silent passengers weren't just quiet, they were absent from the world of the living. Every sound became amplified. The creaking of the seats, the whispering wind outside, even the rhythmic clickety-clack of the train on the tracks seemed to echo the beats of my terrified heart. The train was no longer just a train. It was a vessel, carrying the remnants of lives abruptly cut short, souls trapped in an eternal journey, seeking a destination they would never reach. The train whistle shrieked through the night, like the wails of the lost souls trapped in an eternal journey. And in that moment, I knew I was not alone. I was a part of their world, a world that existed somewhere between reality and the supernatural, between the living and the dead.